In this video I want to talk about the curves in Houdini. Let's put down a curve node. Let's make it one. Let's snap it to the grid. Something like that. Press enter to end it. So now let's say I want to create some cables with this as a source. Sweep, and with this we have a nice option as a second input, something like round tube. Right now it's not very cable like, so we can go back to the curve and maybe try out the NURBS. So something like this looks a lot organic, looking like a cable. So in a sweep node you can see that this is actually, you would have to do some converting to make this into polygons. So, and also there can be sometimes when they get distorted, something like this. You see that with a max stretch control you can actually stretch out very tight corners. We definitely do not want it for the cable. So what we can do is just create this NURB curve and resample it into something like this. We have nice control over how many points you want, and also level of detail. So basically this is going to try to concentrate the most of the points to where the curves are the biggest, where the curves happen the most. You can see that here there's a lot more than here. Maybe something like this. And in the sweep mode you can see we are getting a lot nicer results. We can just do it. So that's very nice. Now let's talk about how can we change the shape for this object. So there are some presets for the sweep, some like square, ribbon, but if we put in a second input, so we can just put down circle, make it a little smaller, and the circle is nice that we can make different divisions. So maybe we went to triangle, so we put it here. As you can see now it doesn't look right. That's because we don't have this aligned correctly. So just go to the orientation and fix X and Y axis like that. In the sweep node you can actually reverse the cross section like that. Maybe if you want to bevel them, something like that. Now we can go to here, make more resolution. And now we don't have a circle as a tube, but a triangle. Now let's take a look at something else. Let's say you want to create a tube where the thickness is changing, something like maybe every other second one is thicker than the rest of the shape. So that we can do it pretty easily. So let's take for example this. Let's carve. This is basically going to slice up our curve in the integrals. So basically every one of these is its own shape, and then put down group by range, and now we can select, maybe let's say, how many we want to select, maybe 2, okay, 3. We can just play around with this, something like that, and of course you can control the offset. So basically this is our selection, and now we want to create just this circle shape back into it. So put down sweep again, and then just go to the poly bevel and pipe it into here. Reverse cross selection. Backbone chord group, you can put it at this, but first of all you can see that there are a problem because these shapes did not connect together and this doesn't look right. First of all, let's clean up our setup. So first of all, what I want to do is just go back to this first curve that we created. I'm just going to make it a round tube so that we can see the changes a little bit more better. Something like that. Okay, so that's going to look not better. So to fix this, we have to put down, first of all, we have to delete these. So put down a delete node, select the group, and then just delete non-selected. Something like this. Your first intuition would be like put down a fuse node, but actually fuse won't do anything in his. It's going to fuse, but it's not going to help them. So what you want to do is put down, it's called Polypet, right? In the Polypet, just connect the endpoints, and now you can see also, oh, I forgot we have to clean out the group. So right now you can see what's good about this method, that we have actually the shape actually following the curvature of this. So if I just take these and merge them together, in the sweep we can just single polygon, cap it. If you take a look, it actually follows the shape. And now we can just go to the sweep, and after the poly path we can put down resample node. In resample node, where we can basically change the subdivision of these new curves we just created, and you can see that actually they are keeping this kind of straight edge. So we can do just do it to the subdivision curves, or even interpolating curves. I usually just put it on the subdivision curves, and in the sweep you can see that we are getting very nice smooth results. And you put it straight, you can see that we're getting less resolution, even though we have enough topology to make it so. Just put it on that, and in the merge you can see that we have basically created this kind of shape that follows. And of course we can go to the group by range and change the amount. Also offset, they kind of moved, something like that. Now let's take a look how can we create something. Let's say if we do not want to only this kind of shape, we want something more custom shape wrap around this cable too. So basically you want the actual geometry to sweep around this, not only the profile of this. Now let's create the custom shape for our wraparound. So what I'm gonna do is just duplicate this circle so we know exactly the scale that we want around to work with. So I'm gonna increase this. Let's extrude it. I extrude it again. Side and output. Let's turn off the output back and extrude it again. So something like this. Now what I want to do is just duplicate it. A couple of times. Maybe something like this. maybe something like this, maybe a little smaller. Yeah, something like this. Just make it closer. Make some more copies. So now I want to actually delete the faces that made inside. That we can do very easily. Just put down a boolean. So first input is going to be our copy, and poly extrude is going to be our shape before the copy, like this. And make sure it's union. And now if we take a look at this and delete this, you can see we can see right through our shape. Now we can just delete the shape that we know that we have created. Our shape without any inside faces. So what we can do is actually just duplicate this again a couple of times. So how do we wrap this around our shape? I just deleted this, so we don't need this example, so just around this one. So what we can do is put down a side effects labs toolkit node. That is, if you don't have it, just install it in here. Side effects labs toolkit, it's completely free for all Houdini users. It's called pad deform. So what it's going to do, you can see that it requires two inputs for it to work. So input curve is going to be our sweep, and our geometry is going to be this. If you take a look, right now it doesn't work because we do not have axis set up right. So if you take a look at this, we have this object into z-axis, and it's actually internegative. So basically this should be positive, so this is the negative z-axis. So in the pad deform node, we just got negative z, like that. Actually, I did the wrong thing, so not this one, but resample. Actually want to curve inside, like that. So do I have made it? Right now it doesn't look too good. Let's put down the merge together. You can see that there are mismatch of the normal, so we can just put down a normal right before here to fix out this weirdness. So after the copy, we can maybe put down a transform. Make uniform scale smaller, like that, and we can control the amount of copies around. So we are wrapping around this shape. What else we can do? Something like in the pad deform node, they're actually pretty nice core resolution. That actually works very nicely. Just put it, if it doesn't look right, just put it at more resolution, and you should wrap around more nicely around. Then we can also, there actually is a scale, so I actually didn't have to use the transform node, so I'm gonna delete it. So there actually scale inside this node, so that's very scantily. So what else we can do here? We can basically scale it. So basically what we're going to do is just stretch it out. So let's say we make it not enough of these, and in pad deform node we can actually just stretch it out. You can see that it stretches out, so like that. And of course, if we go back to our first curve, you can see that it's actually, depending on the length, it's actually going to go right at the end, but it's going to be stretched out, so you don't want so many stretches, so we just increase the amount of copies. Just make sure that you don't go over it. So this is the way you can create something like this. And let's say we want to create actually the caps for these. Let's say it's a wire and we want to cap it with some sort of connection. So that's going to be up next. To demonstrate how can we do that, I just create a little bit smaller curve. So after the sweep operation, there are actually a few options that you can do. There is the end cap type, and we can just put it as a single polygon. And also you can create a group for the end caps. And now you can poly extrude. And as a poly extrude group, you can actually pick the end caps group. And what I like to do is just go to the very end. So basically we are inserting it until all of the vertices are at one point, like that. So after that, we can put down a fuse node, and in a fuse node, it's basically going to fuse these together. And in the fuse node, there are options to create actually the group. So basically, snap point is going to create its own group, and it's going to be this and this point. And as you might imagine, this is basically the way we can just copy the points, and let's say we create box. Basically we can create this box, something like this, and we can copy to the points of these curves. So go to this, the curve, actually the geometry is going to be first, the curve second, and just as a source group, target points, is the snap points. And now if we go to the, just take this and this and merge it together, you can see that it's basically copied to the end of it. So you can go to the box, you can create whatever connection at the end you want. And of course it doesn't have to be modeled inside Houdini, you can just insert them from any other package. You can bevel it or whatever. So I'm going to just maybe let's poly extrude it, something like this, maybe something like this. You can see we have basically copied this at the ends of it, and if you go back to the and create it bigger, it's going to basically cap it at that. Let's say you want actually different kind ends to both of at the ends of these curves. So what we can do after the fuse operation, we have this group, put down a group by range node, select the group, the snap points that we just created in the fuse node, and of course it's a point. So as you can see, it's now selects both of these, but we can actually control it with the start and end. So basically start one and end one is going to be one group, and inverted is going to be the other one. We can actually just invert range. So what we can do, so this is going to be our, let's call it the bottom. Now just duplicate it and invert range top. And now basically we have these two groups, and then I copy 2 points. Note target for one is going to be a bottom, and now we just have to duplicate this node And as a second input, let's put it inside this. And for this, it's going to be top, like that. And now just put it inside all image. As you can see, now we have created with different ends on both sides. Just go back to the curve. Let's create different sequence curve. As you can see, it works very nicely with any kind of curve. That's it for this tutorial. Subscribe for more. See you later.